Growing up in the tri-state area, a lot of my friends are Jets fans, and I've seen the pain they have had to go through over the years. From Mark Sanchez's butt fumble to not being able to find a true star starting quarterback since Joe Namath. That was until this past weekend when their number 2 overall pick, Zach Wilson, was out with an injury and former Western Kentucky quarterback Mike White made his first career start. Is he a future star, or did the Jets just catch lightning in a bottle for one game? Only time will tell. But that leaves the question, who is Mike White? In the Who Is series, we go through the backstories of up-and-coming collegiate and pro athletes. If there's a player you want to see in future episodes, make sure to let me know in the comment section below. Also, should Mike White stay the Jets starting quarterback once Zach Wilson returns from injury? Let me know in the comment section below. Mike White grew up in Pembroke Pines, Florida. As a kid, baseball was Mike's first love, with his favorite team being the Florida Marlins. He could recite every player on the roster, and when he was 2, his father worked with him in the backyard and created a drill to improve Mike's batting eye. His father wrote X's and O's on wiffle balls, and Mike's job was to identify the ball before he took a cut. Mike would go on to become a pitcher and attend NSU University School in Fort Lauderdale in high school. As a junior, White posted a 9-2 record with a .43 ERA and developed a 90-mile-an-hour fastball. He was named the Louisville Slugger All-American and first-team All-Broward by the Miami Herald that year, yet he would be pulled away from baseball by football. White told ESPN, "It's funny how growing up, I was all baseball. Somewhere in high school, I went football and my friends went baseball." He still keeps in touch with one of his childhood baseball buddies, the New York Mets' Luis Guillorme, and believes the mechanics of throwing a baseball carried over to football. Mike would not start at quarterback until his senior year of high school, where he completed 176 of his 256 passes, completing 68.8% of his passes for 2,201 yards, 22 touchdowns, and just 2 interceptions. He led University to a 13-0 record in the 3A state championship and anchored an offense that posted 346.2 yards per game and 39.8 points per game. He went 22 of 31 for 282 yards and 2 touchdowns in the Suns state title victory over Madison County. White was named the 3A Florida Player of the Year as a senior. He finished 5th in the Florida Dairy Farmers Mr. Football voting and was second-team 3A All-State selection by the Associated Press. He was also voted the Broward County Player of the Year and first-team All-Broward, picked by Miami Herald. Coming out of high school, according to 24/7 Sports Composite, Mike White was a 3-star recruit who was the 49th best pro-style quarterback, 178th best player in Florida, and 1,273rd best player in the 2013 recruiting class. He received 4 offers from the likes of Eastern Kentucky, Florida A&M, Marshall, and USF, and received interest from Oklahoma State, even taking a visit but never receiving an official offer. Ultimately, White would choose to stay close to home and attend USF. As a true freshman at South Florida, Mike White started 5 games but struggled. He only completed 93 of his 175 passes for 1,083 yards, 3 touchdowns, and 9 interceptions. His best game of the season probably came in his first start at Houston when he completed 63.4% of his passes for 311 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 1 interception. The following week, he would only complete 54.5% of his passes for 198 yards, 1 touchdown, and 4 interceptions. South Florida would finish the season on a 6-game losing streak, resulting in a final record of 2-10. Going to the following year, White was named the starting quarterback. He struggled against Western Carolina, completing 34.6% of his passes for 181 yards and 1 interception. A few weeks later, he struggled against NC State, only completing 25% of his passes for 82 yards and a touchdown, but as the season went on, he slowly improved. He finished his sophomore year completing 50.4% of his passes for 1,639 yards, 8 touchdowns, and 7 interceptions. USF finished the year 4-8 and missed out on a bowl game once again. Things were not working out at USF for White, and when the Bulls switched to a zone read offense, he saw the writing on the wall and decided to transfer because the offense did not fit his skill set. Due to the NCAA transfer requirements, Mike was forced to sit out the 2015 season and used it as his redshirt year. The following year, Mike White was named the starting quarterback for Western Kentucky, but had large shoes to fill after the departure of great Western Kentucky quarterback Brandon Doughty. That would not faze Mike White, as he threw for 517 yards and 3 touchdowns, completing 80.6% of his passes in his debut against Rice. He would go on to be one of the nation's top passers, having 9 games of 300 yards or more, and led the nation in 30 and 40 yards or more completions. He finished the year throwing for 4,363 yards, 37 touchdowns, and 7 interceptions. The offense that year led the FBS in points per game with 45.5 and was number 3 in passer efficiency, 174.87, number 5 in total offense, 523.1, and number 5 in passing offense, 336.8. The Hilltoppers finished the year 11-3, beating Memphis in the Boca Raton Bowl, 51-31. After the regular season, Jeff Braun would take the head coaching job at Purdue and was replaced by Mike Sanford. Under a new head coach, Mike White took a small step back, finishing 4th nationally with 4,177 yards, 26 touchdowns, and 8 interceptions, while also rushing for 6 touchdowns on the ground. He finished his Western Kentucky career throwing for over 300 passing yards in 8 straight games, including a 485-yard, 5-touchdown game against Middle Tennessee State. Western Kentucky finished the year 6-7, losing to Georgia State in the Cure Bowl. Mike finished his Western Kentucky career throwing for 8,540 yards, which is 3rd most in program history. After the season, White became the first quarterback in program history to receive an invitation to the Senior Bowl and the second to be invited to the NFL Combine. He would impress at the Senior Bowl, throwing for 2 touchdowns, and showed his confidence in a television interview when he said, "If you ask me, I see myself going number 1 overall. That's just sort of the confidence I play with, and it's how I was raised." Going into the 2018 NFL Draft, scouts spoke on Mike White, saying, "His intangibles are really good. He's smart, a good kid, picks up everything quickly, and works at it. He's not mobile, he has good size, 6'5", 218 pounds, and his arm is good. His short accuracy is very good, but his long accuracy and long touch aren't good." While another scout said, "White's mobility has improved, he's functional on boots, etc., but he's not a runner. Good passer. He's accurate on schedule, off-platform and ad-lib plays are not his game. This is a huge opportunity for him. He needs the offensive line to help. I would think he plays within the system if he can get any level of protection." White did enough to impress Dallas Cowboys owner Jerry Jones, being taken in the 5th round at the 171st overall pick as the 8th quarterback drafted that year and 6th quarterback taken by the Cowboys since Jones' tenure began in 1989. White made the Cowboys' final roster as the 3rd-string quarterback, but failed to win the backup job the following year and was cut with the Cowboys deciding to only carry 2 quarterbacks and chose to sign rookie Clayton Thorson. At the end of September of 2019, White was signed to the New York Jets practice squad and signed a reserve future contract later that year. During the 2020 season, the Jets cut White 4 times, bringing him back on the practice squad each time. That means the rest of the NFL had 4 opportunities to steal him off waivers, and no one did. This past summer, he beat out 2020 draft pick James Morgan for the backup job, and the Jets chose not to sign anybody else because of their belief in White. White would see playing time against the New England Patriots when he threw for 202 yards, 1 touchdown, and 2 interceptions after 2nd overall pick Zach Wilson went down with an injury during the 2nd quarter. After the game, White told the media, "There's been a lot of ups and downs, but I think personally I'm proud of how I handled it." Going to their Halloween matchup against the Cincinnati Bengals, Mike White was announced as the Jets' starting quarterback with Wilson still out with an injury. It felt like no one gave White and the Jets a chance, and that seemed to fuel him as he threw for 405 yards, 3 touchdowns, and 2 interceptions in their 34-31 win over the Bengals. He became the first Jets quarterback since Vinny Testaverde's in 2000 to throw for 400-plus yards, and the first quarterback in the NFL to do so in his first career start since Cam Newton. Going into tonight, many are questioning whether White's performance was a flash in the pan or not, and if it isn't, will the Jets choose to stick with him over Wilson the rest of the season? The thing is, that is a problem that will be solved in the future, but for now, all eyes will be on the former Western Kentucky star tonight on Primetime. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, check out my other videos right here. Don't forget to leave a like, share, and subscribe to the channel, and as always, remember to embrace the grind.